Hey everyone, this is Mary from SVGCuts, and I'm here today with some fun tiki party projects for your next luau. Even if you're not planning one, it's just fun to make your summertime more festive, whether you're hanging out with people or just enjoying some fun summer crafts. Before long it'll be fall, Halloween, Christmas, and all that, so it's always nice to do something seasonal. And I had a lot of fun coming up with these really colorful, fun, festive projects. So this one's a really big kit, and I thought these lanterns would be really useful. You can either make them with or without the flowers. You can make them different colors. The cool thing about them is they're super easy and quick to put together, and I think when you make all three, they look really nice together. So I think if you made them all in black without the flowers, it would look really elegant and really pretty, and it would seriously be so quick and so easy. So these candles that I have inside, it's a 3-pack that I got from Hobby Lobby, and if you look at the PDF in your download or on the page for this kit and on svgcuts.com, it says details about where those are from, exactly from Hobby Lobby. And I also got some on Amazon that are a little bit wider, but 3 different heights, and those also work and are really pretty. So hope you love that. I also came up with a really large banner, tropical banner. So it's just really pretty, festive, dimensional, and no matter where you hang it up, I think it's gonna look really just really pretty, whether you're having a party or you just want to make something pretty for summertime for around the house. So I also came up with a lei, which you can make in whatever colors you want, rainbow looking or different colors, different shades of the same color. Definitely festive if you're having a party. And I was just doing a Facebook Live video about these projects yesterday, and someone said that they want to make these at a kids party, like have that be part of the activities for a kids party. So a lot of you guys are saying that you're having some Hawaiian themed, tropical themed parties coming up, so that's awesome. I'm glad everything's going to be useful for you guys. So I also came up with this pretty little tropical bucket, and the shape of it actually has the cutouts behind the leaf for the leaf, and it's attached on the back, and I like it. I think it's really elegant, and but it's also pretty quick to put together. Nice dimension with those flowers, really pretty. So that could be a favor, a gift. You could even put a little electronic candle inside that and make it a little luminary. So I also have this really pretty hibiscus marquee sign, and I use these lights on every time I make a marquee sign project, such as my bunny, my pumpkin, my sports ones. It's all the same lights. You can either get them in a package together, or you can get them separately. I got these at Michael's, and I also have gotten them from Amazon. So if you look again at your PDF or on the product page for this kit, it will tell you exactly what you can get. So that's a lot of fun. I think it's so pretty and festive, and you could even put it on a shelf in a girl's room or something as some like pretty decor. I could see that being a hit also. So then I threw this in there too, just because it kind of goes with everything. It's 2 layers, it's easy. I put some green ink around the edges of the top layer, but for example, if you just set one of the projects on it, it just makes it even more pretty and tropical and festive, under the lanterns or whatever. So I also came up with some really fun but super cute little flamingo straws, and this palm tree here, which makes a nice little centerpiece, as well as our little tiki bag, which has a fun little nose ring on him, and nice and dimensional, but also again really quick and easy. So that could be a really cool gift. You could give someone something in there if you're going to a party, or you could always put another LED tea-lit candle in there as decor. That would look really cool, shining out through all those cutouts. So the paper that I used this time is from Echo Park. It's called Summer Fun, and I love it. Really colorful. It kind of inspired all the color scheme that you see here, because that's in the paper itself too, those colors. But like I always say, whatever kind of paper you have in mind that you want to use is going to look awesome. So some of the upcoming video was filmed yesterday during Facebook Live. The quality of those parts is a little bit low, but you can still see well enough to play along. I did the Flamingo Straws on Facebook Live yesterday, as well as part of the lei and part of this bag. So if you are not following me on Facebook, SVGCuts on Facebook, you'll have to check us out, follow us, and tune in to our live videos whenever we do it. It's a lot of fun. It's really neat to see your comments live and to kind of talk to you guys and interact live. So be sure and check us out. So I've got all my pieces cut out to show you how all the projects go together. So let's get started. I'm going to put together my little flamingo guy. Super easy peasy. So this is really simple. It's just this little guy. We're going to glue that together. So I will do that right now. So I'm going to glue this beak right onto him, and right here like this, and then I'm going to kind of flip his little his back wing up a little bit. Then I'm going to take any black marker. I happen to have a gel pen here, but I'm just going to fill it in with a black marker, just like this. So you just want to kind of draw a little U shape. Draw a little U shape like that, and then just fill it in. You could even use a Sharpie. That would be even quicker if you're making a bunch of them. And then draw a little circle for his eye, just like that. And then you can carefully put your straw through like this. And there you go, super cute. Next, for our Hibiscus Marquee sign, I've got most of the pieces laid out here, and basically what you're doing is making two halves that we're going to sandwich together. So I went ahead and put together one half. This is the back side, and the only thing that makes it the back is that I glued this back panel in place, and the sides are on it. So this is the back, and the front is identical, except it has the front panel goes on it. So you can go ahead and glue your front panel onto this piece, and both sides are identical. So the sides are laid out here, and your machine will have cut a number into each one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I darkened that in with a marker for this video so that you could see it more easily, which you don't have to do too. So I put some glue on the inside of the tab on piece number 1, and I'm going to fold it over onto piece number 2. And then this one doesn't fold, but there are 2 little lines cut here that are guidelines, 1 and 2, so that you can see where to line up the next piece and where to put your glue. So I'll take piece number 3 and line that up using those little lines as guidelines. Then I'll do the same thing. Put some glue on the inside of this, just above those 2 little guidelines, and glue piece number 4 on. Then I'll close it up by putting some glue on the inside of this tab and bending it around and gluing it down. So those are my sides, and I'm going to make sure that all these tabs are creased over, and then I'm going to glue this right inside. So this part's nice and easy. I'm just going to put a line of glue around the edge, and then carefully place that right inside. And you want to do this on top of some scrap paper so that you don't get glue all over your table. Then you can flip it over and check, make sure there's no tabs that didn't get glued down. And that's exactly how you put together the back as well. Again, they're identical except for the panels that go inside. Next we can create our little battery pocket holder, which is this piece, and we'll just put some glue on the side here. And then put some glue on these 3 tabs and glue the bottom closed. Then you can cover the back side with some glue and glue that right in this little space. And next I'm going to glue these together back to back, just like this. So I'll cover one side with glue. And then I'll just sandwich them together. And of course you want to line up the edges nicely and push them together so that they really meet up. And then I'm going to set it down and put something on top of it to hold it together as it's drying. So I'll just take a stack of paper that's maybe about 1 inch thick and just let it dry like that. So it won't crush it, but it'll hold it together as it's drying. Next, to create our flower, for the leaves, you can do it however you'd like, but I wanted to rub an ink pad around the edges of the shapes. And I'm going kind of bold here with this dark turquoise ink pad on the green, which I think looks really pretty. And then for each leaf, I took my bone folder and I created a curved line. I think it looks really cool, a curved fold. You could just pinch it in half if you want to. Then for each of our petals, I'm going to take my dark pink ink pad and rub that on the center. As well as on each of these petals, I'm going to rub a lighter pink on them. You can get creative and do whatever strikes your fancy. I also ran these petals through my embossing machine using the Sizzix notebook folder. Next we can line these up so we can see which ones go where. And you could glue them on if you want, but I'm going to use my dimensional dots, these Zots by Thermoweb. They're thick and sticky, and I want to add some dimension. Next, for each petal, I'm going to put a dot of glue on the side here and bend it around to create some dimension and kind of curve it in half a little bit. And if you have a clothespin or something handy, you can use that to hold it as it dries while you move on to the next one. Then on each of these little circles, which I glued on here, I put some iridescent pearls in yellow from Queen & Company. And I'm going to also rub my ink pad on the bottom of this. For this shape, I want to curve it into an S shape a little bit. And now I can assemble my flower in a nice way here, starting with the leaves. Now you can either glue them down, or if you want, you can use more pop dots. I'm going to use some more of my Zots. And then I'll arrange my petals in a way that looks nice to me. And you could glue them down or pop dot them down. And if you want, you can kind of put the glue here and here and here to create even more dimension going around. Then if you tilt it forward and anything is flopping off too much, you can add a little bit more glue or adhesive. So next we want to put this guy in place, kind of going up to the side. So you could put some glue here and kind of attach it to one of them where it's still centered, or if you want to use pop dots, we can do that. And then I'll affix this guy in place too. Next we can put our sides on, and these are also labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're going to go around the sides. So I'm going to start by taking piece number 4 here and putting some glue inside the tab. And I'm going to glue that right onto the bottom. Then I've got piece number 1 here. I'm going to cover that with glue. And glue that right onto the bottom. So these sides do extend out a slight little bit, and that's how it's supposed to be, so that's okay. Now we can cover piece number 2 with glue on the back side. And glue that right onto the side here. Now I can cover the back side of piece 3. And glue that right onto it using these 2 little guidelines here to line it up. Then I can cover this final piece that's attached with glue. And glue that down. Now we can take our 3 remaining rectangles, which are the finishing panels. One of them is slightly longer. We want to take the 2 that are the same size and glue them onto the side to finish it off. If you want, you can rub a ink pad around the edge. That's what I did on my original one. I think that adds a nice touch. You just want to center this right on the side. And then do the same thing with the other rectangle. And then glue this final one on top, just centered between the 2 of them. Next you can take your bulb caps and your light string. And in my case, this is the separate ones. You can take a look at your PDF that's included in your download for the information on exactly which lights work. They're the same lights that I've used for all my other marquee signs. So we just want to carefully kind of wiggle each one into its hole. Then you can flip it over and insert your light string. So I want to start by putting that there so that I can see where I should start. And then just work your way around, kind of firmly but carefully inserting each light into the backside of each bulb. And now we can turn it on and check it out, the best part. Yay! Super cool, love it. Then for my original project, something else that I did, if you're interested, is I just took my glue, just plain old regular craft glue, and I kind of put some squiggles inside, and then I dumped a bunch of chunky pink glitter, let it sit and dry, and then I dumped it off. For our lantern trio, there's 3 lanterns, tall, medium, and short, and they all go together the same exact way. They're just different heights. So this is the medium one, and as you can see, I glued my trim onto all 4 sides first, and then I've got 2 squares, which are the bottom, and then a liner that goes inside. So you can go ahead and glue that trim on, and then we'll glue these 2 pieces together side to side. Then I'll close it up with some glue on the other side tab. And then we can glue these little triangular tabs at the top on all 4 corners. Then you can flip it over and take the largest of the 2 squares and glue that right onto the bottom. And then I'll take this final square, put some glue on it, and glue that into the bottom to finish it off and strengthen it up a little bit. So on this medium lantern, as well as the tall lantern, there are 2 flowers. On the short one, there's only 1. So each flower has 5 petals, and it doesn't really matter which ones you pick to go together. If you want to pick the ones that are going in the same direction, actually, for this one, that might be a good idea. Kind of makes it look more, just nicer maybe. So these 5 petals are all kind of curved that way. These 5 are kind of curved the other way. So I'm going to glue them together, and then the center part, I put some of these little bling things on here. These are ombre goosebumps. Ombre, is it ombre or ombre? Well, anyway, they're from Queen & Company. They're pink goosebumps. I think they have the coolest bling ever. I just got some of these, and I think they look awesome on there. So then I'm going to take a pink ink pad and just rub that on the bottom of each petal. It doesn't have to be perfect or precise, just kind of get it on there. It makes it look really cool and lifelike and just extra pretty. And then I'm going to curve each petal a little bit on the sides, just like this. And if you have a bone folder, that's always nice, but you can always just use a marker or pen or something. So now we can just glue our petals together with a little bit of glue on the side of each one. And then I want this to be a little bit dimensional too. I'm going to curve it into an S shape. And then I'll use one of my trusty pop dots. These are my Zots from Thermal Web. I like them for dimension. And I'll use one of those to put this right in the center. So I'll go ahead and make my other flower, and then we'll just pop them right on the front of the lantern. So you can just glue them right on wherever you'd like, or if you want to make them more dimensional, you can use some pop dots or something. I just think it looks nice if this center thing is sticking kind of up and over. And wherever you think they look nice, I think pretty much like this is kind of cool. So here are the pieces for the short one. It works the same way. There's just 1 flower on that one. And this time I did it in yellow for something different. And then the tall one, again, same thing, same exact thing we just did, but it's just a little bit taller. So the candles, it says in your PDF and also on the web page for this project, these candles that I used here are 3 different heights. They're from Hobby Lobby, and they look really cool. But also you could use these from Amazon. But you could also use these from Amazon as well. They're 3 different heights and they would also fit inside the lanterns. They come with a little timer and they look really realistic and really cool. So whatever you want to use, you know, obviously not a real candle, but whatever you have in mind is going to be super cool. All right, so to make my lei, it's really pretty easy. And I'm just following the directions that are in the PDF download. I've got some twine here. It's about 60 inches long, and I'm going to put this little clamp on the end so it doesn't slide apart. And then all I did was I took six regular party straws like this, and I cut them into 6 segments. So to do that, I'm just going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut it in half again. Oh wait, maybe, I'm sorry, not 6 segments, 8 segments. Whatever it says in your PDF, in your download, when you download this project, it says cut 6 straws into 8 segments. So you're basically just cutting them in half, and then in half, and then in half, until they're all this long. And we're doing that for 6 straws. So you could definitely make yours a little bit longer or shorter if you wanted to. But all we're gonna do for these petals is just pinch them just like that. And I've gone ahead and done that for the 4 colors that I'm gonna use. So on my original one, I did 4 different colors of blue. And for this one, I'm gonna do 4 different, completely different colors. Basically, super easy, super simple. All I'm doing is alternating the colors with the little segments of straw that I cut apart. So, I think it's going to be really cool. So I'm just going to finish stringing all of my flowers on, and it's pretty straightforward. This would definitely be a fun craft to do with kids, nice and easy. So there's my final flower. There's my lei. I love it. I think I like it even better than my first blue one. So now I can just carefully tie it off. Maybe with a little bit of slack so it's not too tight. And then I'll just trim off those ends. And there we go. Next, for our palm tree, I'm going to put together the trunk first, which I've got laid out here. And I'm really happy with the way that I think I made this pretty straightforward and pretty easy. So these pieces here are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is going to be the very top of the trunk. And what you want to do is fold them like this, each one, and then fold it backwards. And then kind of bend these little things out. And then we're just going to glue these together side to side, 1 through 5. Then we can finish it off with some glue on the side and curve it around. So this little contraption is the very top, and then next is this section. And we're just going to glue each of these closed. Then we'll do the same thing for all of these. And this one is the same, it's just broken apart into smaller pieces so that you don't have to use as much paper. So go ahead and glue all of these together. Then for this final large bottom piece, it's got 2 tabs, which you just glue one at a time, starting with the top, and then kind of kick the bottom out and glue that closed. Next, if you've got a handful of pennies, now's a good time to put that in this very bottom big piece to weigh it down. Then we can cover these bottom tabs with glue and glue the bottom on. Now you can use these little dots to line it up because it's actually a little bit curved. And you just want to firmly push it together. And then you can see these 2 dots are up here. We want those lined up with this guy also. And there's our cool trunk. It's a little bit curved to the side. Next, for our palm fronds, there are 13 of them, and you can pinch each leaf in half. And then basically we're going to just put some glue on this piece here and just glue that right on. If you want, you can pop the top off. That makes it a little easier. And I'm just going to glue 5 going all the way around. And then I'll do 5 more, and then I'll put 3 more inside and just kind of play around with it and see what you think. So I'm just going to keep positioning them inside in different spaces. And then something else that I did is, if you want, you can take a bone folder or some kind of sharp thing, like even scissors, and just carefully kind of create a line to help yourself fold it. Because if you fold it in half a little bit, it kind of stands up more straight, which gives the different leaves a different effect. If you want them to stand up more in the center, you can do that before you glue it down. And then something else you can do is also just kind of gently curve it. You can curve the ends a little bit, which looks nice too. So that it kind of makes it stiff when you fold it in the center. Then you just want to glue it the same way and just keep going, whatever you think looks cool. You could even have some of them bent the other way. So just play around with it and whatever you think looks nice. So to put together our tiki bag, I've got the pieces here. I have this wired twine that I have from the floral section at the craft store. I have a little bit of random wire for the nose ring, and really any gauge wire is going to work. It's not important. It's not important what kind of gauge it is. I've got the bottom of the bag here, and I went ahead and glued my panels onto the back of the bag, top and bottom, and I ran them through my embossing machine with this perfect palm embossing folder from Echo Park. And then this piece gets centered right here, so we can glue that on. And then I started to put some of these pieces on the front also, so I might as well put this guy on. And if you want to rub some ink on these panels before you glue them on, that's always a nice touch. I did that with my original one, and I think that looks even better. So as you can see on this big piece here, I folded it like this, and I folded the bottom under, and then I glued these 4 panels onto the sides, and then we can glue this here and the eyes on, as well as this bottom part and the top part. So if you want, you can just glue them right on, or if you want to add some dimension, if you've got some pop dots or something. I like to use these dots from Thermal Web when I want to add dimension, and they're thick sticky dots, which I think always looks nice. I also think it looks really nice to rub some kind of ink pad around your shapes before you put them together. So just something similar looks nice. Maybe a dark brown would look good too. Dark blue, dark turquoise, green. And then something like this looks nice on this piece. I've got a dark brown ink pad. And I just happen to really like these ink pads. These are by Colorbox, and they're cat's eye shaped ink pads. I have quite a few colors. I like to use them most of the time. Before I put something together, I usually always ink the edges of it. So I'm going to put some of my dots on the back of this piece. And I'll just carefully center that up on the top. And then I'll use some on the bottom too. And we want this to be pretty much level with the other bottom panels. Next, I'm going to glue the eye pieces onto this shape. And then I'll use some more of my dots on the back side of it. So I put some dots strategically on the back side of it, and then I'll just line it up and put that right on the front. Next, I'm going to take a little segment of this wire and use a pen just to wrap it around into a nice circle shape. And I'll just clip that off. Then I'll just trim the ends off. I still want it to be round, and then I'll just carefully feed this through both of the layers, and then bend it so it's meeting up. It's a cute little touch. And then we just want to glue these sides together. So I'll put some glue on the side here. And then I'll close it up with some glue on the other side tab. Then we can cover the bottom with some glue and put the bottom on. Now I can put my handle on, and you can make it however long you would like it to be. And this is the most enticing thing for cats ever. This among other things. So I'm just going to loop it through and twist the end around. Without bending my paper. And I want it to be about this long. And I'll just do the same thing on the other side, just being careful to not bend my paper. Next, for our tropical banner, I've got the pieces here, and I cut them out of various shades of green, these leaves. There's a top part, bottom part, bottom part over here, and then this large part, and then some palm fronds, and this middle part of the flower, and then 5 leaves, as well as the petals and the top part of the petals. So I glued my yellow circles onto this piece, and just to jazz it up a little bit, I used some orange iridescent pearls from Queen & Company. Super cool. I've never had their iridescent pearls before. I saw them on their website and got a bunch of them. Love them. So first I'm going to rub my green ink pad around the edges of the top layer of these leaves. So I really like the way that rubbing a green ink pad around the edges looks, but I'm also just giving this a try and rubbing a brown ink pad on this one. So there's really no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever you think looks nice. And like I always say, I really like to rub the ink on the edges of my shapes pretty much for everything. It just always adds a really nice effect. And you can go more dramatic with a darker color or more subtle with a lighter color. So these ink pads are from Colorbox, and I've gotten them at craft stores like Michael's, and I've gotten them online before. They're just a convenient shape. So I really like the way that my original one looks, and I really went pretty heavy with this green ink on the edges of all these leaves. I'm going to kind of skip ahead and not do it so dramatically now, but if you're interested in doing that, it's just a dark green ink pad. And then I think it also looks nice to rub the ink around the edges of, you know, the bigger shapes and all those shapes. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. Next, I'm going to put my leaves together, and you could just glue it right on there, but I'm going to use my Zots from Thermalweb. They're 3-dimensional glue dots. They're really thick and very sticky, and I think it adds some really good dimension. And then I'll just carefully place this right on top. And then I'll do the same thing for the other leaf. Next, I'm going to glue this large flower piece on top of my 2 leaves, and it just overlaps on the sides here. This bottom part is it's almost like sort of straight across, then there's the 3 leaves if you're wondering which way it goes, and it just kind of overlaps over here. So I'm going to just put some glue around the edge here. And glue that right into place, and then do the same thing over here. Then for these 5 leaves, you can do it however you'd like. I think it's nice to kind of fold them in half, but I tried something kind of new for me anyway, and I just created a crease with my bone folder, and I kind of curved it a little bit, and then you can kind of follow that crease to make a curved fold line. kind of a little different. And then I think it would be really nice to rub a green ink pad around these also. So I went ahead and I already did the creasing on these. So if you want to do that, go ahead and crease all of your 5 leaves. Next, I'm going to glue them all together using these center parts. And it doesn't matter which way they go, however you think looks nice. Then we can glue this right onto the center of this shape here. So you could either just glue it down, or if you want to make it more dimensional, if you have some pop dots, I think I might use a few of these dots behind it because they're super strong, and then it'll hold those leaves but still be dimensional. For these top panels of each petal, I ran it through my embossing machine. I used the notebook folder by SVGCuts because I like the way that it kind of looks like a hibiscus. I was looking at some pictures of hibiscuses, and some of them kind of had some texture like that, so I thought that would be cool. And then I'm going to rub a orange ink pad on the bottom of them. So there might be a better way to do this. I think I saw someone using like a special little ink dauber tool. I'm not sure how that works. I need to look into it because I do kind of waste a little bit of ink when I do it this way. But, or of course you could, hold it up so that you don't get ink on your surface. This is a little bit easier though. Then for each of these petals, I'm going to rub a dark pink ink pad in the center. As well as on the bottom of this piece. So next I'm going to match these up, and we can either glue them on, or you can use pop dots or zots if you want. That's what I'm going to do. Next I'm going to use this little bottom part to glue just like this. So to do that, we'll just put a dot of glue and then hold it as it dries. If you've got some clothespins handy, you can use those to kind of hold each one as it dries. So next you can either glue these down, or again use some zots or pop dots if you have some, or even maybe hot glue, whatever you think is the best way to do that. And I'm gonna just kind of arrange them where I think it looks good, and then affix them into place. So I could do it just like this, or I could kind of tilt each one when I glue it down, and then it looks even more dimensional and lifelike. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my glue, or my glue dot, or whatever it is, on that side there. for each one. Then I'm going to curve this a little bit. You could use a marker or a pen or something if you don't have a bone folder, into a little S shape, and then I want it to sit just like this. So if you want, you could probably use hot glue in this situation, put some here and glue it on, or just glue it, you know, kind of just put some glue here, somewhere where it's basically centered, but it's just attached somewhere to one of these petals. And if you want, you could also glue it up here too. So I'm going to put a zot right here. As well as underneath right here, just to hold that in place. Then I'll put some more of my adhesive right here. So it's attached in 3 places that are kind of hidden here, here, and here. But whatever works for your situation is good too. So next, I could put some twine through these holes to hang it with, and then just kind of stick these guys in somewhere. And all I did was pinch each petal or each leaf in half a little bit. And then I think it's actually a good idea to put your twine in now and hang it up and take a look and see if anything is kind of flopping forward too much, and maybe put a couple more little dots of glue or whatever. And then while it's hanging, I think it's a good time to put these where you think they look nice, and just put a few dots of glue to glue those into place. So that's how I did my original one, and I hung it up first, and then I kind of stuck these in and glued them down. So next, I'm going to put together this guy. The flowers, I really like how the flowers look, and they're pretty simple. The petals, there's just 5 petals, and then I rubbed a bunch of ink on the center, and I'll show you that right now. So for the little centers, there's 3 of them that look like this, and I put these little these awesome bling guys on there. These are diamonds, yellow diamonds from Queen and Company. I just think they have the world's coolest bling ever. So I used those on the 3 centers of my flowers. So here I did 4. I did a little differently on this first one. There's 4 little ones on each one. So you can get creative and do it however you would like. So the main part of my bag is these 2 pieces. They look like this, and I went ahead and glued my leaf right here, and then the other side of it, I went ahead and glued this panel here and here, and then on this other piece, it looks like this, and I went ahead and glued this panel here. So then all that's left is one more leaf, the bottom of the box, and some flower petals, which I ran through my embossing machine. The light is really bright, it's kind of hard to see, but they're embossed so that they look more hibiscus-like and whatnot. So you don't have to do that. I think it's cool. So I'm going to glue these together side to side, just like this. Now I'm going to put glue on here and glue the bottom closed. So, as you can see, I just rubbed some ink around the edge of this. So I'm gonna glue this right on the front of this box. And what I think would be cool is if we kind of add some more dimension on this. I don't know where my bone folder went, but if we kind of curve these a little bit on the edges, just randomly in different directions before we do it. And then I could just glue it right on the front, but I'm gonna use some of these dimensional dots. Brenda said I have to see Moana. I bet I want to see it really bad. It looks amazing. And who doesn't love Dwayne Johnson? I don't know who else is in it. I'm not up to date with the kid movies. Oh, excuse me, please. So these are my favorite pop dots. They're like dimensional glue dots. They're real thick. I like to use them when I want to add a lot of dimension to something. Like if I want this to pop off of here. And they're by Thermal Web. They're called Zots. I've gotten them before at Michael's, Joann, Hobby Lobby, Amazon, a cherry on top. Pretty much anywhere craft supplies are sold. And I constantly have a supply of them because they're very, very sticky and very strong, and they add a lot of dimension, which is really never a bad thing. So I'm just gonna center this guy on here and kind of curve these bottom ones up a little more, and there we go. So I could have done that on the back too. That would have been cool. For the flowers on our bag or box or bucket, so what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to rub a pink ink pad on the center of each one, just like this. And it doesn't have to be precise or anything. You can go lighter, darker, it really doesn't matter. There's that. So I'll just do 5 of them for now. It doesn't matter which ones you put together. You can do it however you think it looks nice. And also gonna do the center, the bottom of the center here too. And then, oops, all I want to do is kind of just pinch these a little bit, or if you want to kind of curve them, you can kind of curve them with a pen or something round if you want. So now all you want to do for these flowers is glue them together in the center. You can just use glue. I'm going to use my trusty Zots because I'm kind of obsessed with them. And in this case, I think it's going to make my life a tiny bit easier, but you don't have to do it this way. So I'm just going to circle them around, circling them around the sticky glue dot. Kind of bend them forward a little bit. And then glue this guy right in the center here. Oh, my glue's drying out. And then something else I did was I just kind of curved this too. Maybe into like a little S shape. And then I'm going to glue it right in the center of my flower. There's that. So there's our pretty flower. And since it's already sticky on the back because of my glue dot, I can go ahead and just stick it right on the front of my box. Oh, one final thing, this box that I was just putting together after you put your 2 flowers or before, there's one final square left, and you can glue that on the inside to finish off the bottom if you want. So then once you put together your other 2 flowers, you can put them inside or wherever you think looks nice. I thought it looked nice like this in the back and on the front, but again, whatever you want to do. So there you have it, really fun projects for summer, tropical, tiki time, luau time. Hope you have a great time making them, and if you do, you'll have to share a picture with us on Facebook, Instagram, your blog, pin it on Pinterest, however you like to share. I always love to see, and so do the rest of our crafty friends. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.